Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am here with my partner in crime, Mr. Andrew Hansen. And today is Monday, June 15th, and we are here today to crush some KBO. Are you ready for that crushing, Andrew?
Oh, I sure am, Coach. This is day 37 of the KBO. 37 was my jersey number in college, so I'm feeling extra good for
Oh,
this slate.
an extra omen. And I
Yes.
must say, it's much more pleasant doing a show with you with your shirt on.
Oh, me too.
So,
This is good. This is fun. I like this.
so you may
So
want,
comfortable.
you're going to have to think pretty long and hard about our PGA head-to-head wager next week. You may be a little gun shy, but
I might. You might be right.
oh, I got the biggest kick out of that, though. I'll tell you, that was funny, and you're a good sport for gutting it out and doing it. So. Anyway, yeah, today's KBO, we're excited. We've done a little bit of adjustment on our podcasts for our listeners that listen every day. Just wanted to briefly touch on that a little bit because we decided, we're in such a DFS mindset right now, day of, and let's make money and build our bankroll for when sports come back. And the NBA comes back in 44 days, Andrew. Can you believe that? I mean, it's coming back. It's
It
here.
really is.
It
Yeah, it's
really is.
exciting. So we
Yeah,
gotta we gotta make some money in KBO while we can.
we do. And Kyrie tried to botch things up for us and talk, and that he's such a I can't stand that guy. But everything looks good. We're good to go with that. And so we're going to be coming to you Mondays through Saturdays, 6 days a week, podcasts, 4 KBO and 2 PGA. We'll do the Wednesday uh, show and then the Friday show. So, we know a lot of people just play the weekends in PGA or reload if things go south. And so we want to be able to provide, there's good money to be made. Those PGA, did you see some of the tournaments, the size of them? People were diving in left, right, and backwards. Those millie makers filled up too. It was very impressive. But so that's sort of our new schedule. We decided we've got a great bunch of content. So for those people that were still looking forward to some basketball and baseball, football stuff, just go to our YouTube channel, DFS Coach Talk, and you can see we just have a litany of just about, I think, every team has been covered in the 3 sports for this upcoming season. So if you want to start preparing that way, those are very, very good and up to date. I mean, they're ready to roll because we just all sat dormant for 90 days. Nothing changed. So, those will be a big help for everybody. So awesome. We want to thank our sponsors for bringing this podcast to you. That's MyBookie. Go to MyBookie for all your sports wagering and casino action and get that exclusive offer just to Coach Talk members, which is a 50% sign up bonus all the way up to $1,000 and a $25 free play by joining through DFSCoachTalk.com. And also our partners at TVG. Got a lot of horse racing dudes out there, especially since sports was gone and horse racing was one of the only things around. I think we got a lot more people involved in that world. And TVG is fantastic. Also sign up through DFS Coach Talk. And it's an awesome exclusive offer only to members of DFS Coach Talk, a $300 risk-free bet. And so you put $300 on somebody, it loses. TVG gives you the 300 back. So it's a great way to get a bankroll going without any risk. So we love those guys. Also follow us on Twitter. I'm at Joe Sarvati, JoeSarvadi. He is at Language Olympic, and our man Shane is at DET Sports Shane. He is Mr. Detroit Sports, and you can always find all of us at DFS Coach Talk. So, all right, let's break down this KBO action for today. 2 great things, Andrew, is one, there's no rain issues whatsoever. And
Beautiful.
2, all the games start at 5:30 a.m. Eastern.
What are we gonna do with all this sleep?
Oh my God. I mean, last week you guys were with us and it paid off because we had some really strong days, but they were staggering the starts. So there was like games starting at 1 a.m. And for me here in Dallas, it was midnight and then 3 a.m. So, and then there was games that rained out and there were scratches. And we were in there, 30 minutes before all locks. It was mayhem. But, just think of it this way. When the lock time comes up at 6:30 Eastern AM or PM for NBA, it's going to be like this is a piece of cake. It's nothing like having to deal with all this crazy KBO time. So at least we're starting out this week with a lot more calm. That's for
That's right.
sure. All right, let me go over real quickly. I think what we'll do today, instead, we're going to try to speed things up a little bit for you guys so you can really get this in there and ready to roll in plenty of time in case you need to make any changes. So I'm going to go to my bookie, and I always wait and click in till we're live on here because I want to get the most current odds. So we want to thank my bookie for that. And here we go, man. We've got our regular 5 games like usual, all the 5:30 a.m. starts. The NC Dinos are at the Kia Tigers, and the Dinos are a 153 road favorite. Over under is a small 8.5, very low, especially considering the Dinos are the highest scoring team in the league. So something to take note of, and more support for our discussion before the show of why I like a pitcher in that game. Then you've got game 2, the KT Wiz at the SK Wyverns. It is 151 for SK as a favorite, and the over-under there is 9.5. Third game, LG Twins at the Hanoi Eagles. LG's only a 133 favorite, so a couple of Hanwha wins in there. People are actually playing them, I guess. The over-under in that game is the highest on the slate, 10.5. So put a little circle around that one. Then we have the Loti Giants at the Kiwoom Heroes. Big Kiwoom favorite, 270. Over-under in that game, 9.5. And then to finish out the slate, it's the Samsung Lions at the Doosan Bears. Doosan also a prohibitive favorite at minus 238. And that game is also 9.5 on the over-under. So we've got some good matchups. Since it's Monday, just real quickly here, yesterday or last night, whatever, this morning you want to call it, was that one day off that the KBO takes each week. So just a quick rundown to give everybody an idea of the standings here. Dinos are 26-9, Twins are 22-13, the Doosan Bears 21-14, Kiwoom is 20-16, Kia 19-17, Loti Giants 18-17, Samsung Lions 17-19. So you got a lot of teams bunched in there around 500. Then you have a pretty good dip here. KT Wiz are 13-22, SK Wyverns 12-23, and then we all know the Hanwha Eagles, who had lost 18 in a row, are 9-27. So that gives you a little picture of what's going on there. And we'll go through game by game as we normally do. And Andrew is the brains behind this duo for sure. So we'll let him share his thoughts and his build ideas. For me, I will tell you this, Andrew. I really like 2 pitchers a lot. And I love one stack to the point where I'm pretty sure I'm going to have 4 guys from that team across the board in all my lineups. So we'll let you guess those as we go. But let's start off with the KT Wiz and Minsu at the SK Wyverns and Ricardo Pinto.
All right. Well, this is one of those kind of just testy little games that I want to kind of tiptoe around it because I love the lefty bats for the KT Wiz. Young Ho Joe at the top. He's cheap, 2,700. We've got Baek-ho Kang, the slugging first baseman, for 5,700, and Rojas for 5,200 on DraftKings. And really like those 3 lefty bats as a stack. But they're going against Pinto, who's been solid. He's only given up 1 home run in 40 innings.
Yeah, I noticed
So
that.
For my primary build, I'm going to avoid that matchup. And I'm going to look to the other side of this game.
Okay.
I do want to look at a couple of these SK bats. I don't usually play Jong Cha or Romac. They're usually, sometimes I'll play them as a one-off.
Yeah.
But I may stack those guys together against this Min-Soo Kim, who has a ERA of almost 10, a WHIP over 2.
That's it, huh? Whew.
um, and he's allowing a batting average of 432 by right-handed hitters.
Good
So
Lord.
for some sluggers, in the middle lineup who are righties, I'm interested in those 2 bats tonight. So that's sort of my the area of this game that I'm most attracted to.
I'm with you. I mean, I'm these aren't my stack teams, but I'm with you in the fact that I think there's some great one-offs here and there's some great value. I don't see how, you don't play a couple of these SK right-handers though. I mean, the stats don't lie. You read the numbers there, and I think that these guys will just pound them. So, I think Cha's a great play. I've used Jamie Romack, as you know, and he's paid off for me in the right spots. He does a good job. So, yeah, I can see myself putting 1 or 2 SK guys in there and probably a one-off with KTW as well. I know we've talked about Pinto on and off, and I'm just not a big fan. I know his stats aren't too bad, 3-2 with the 3.81, and just the 1 homer, but he's still a guy that just seems to be the kind of pitcher that can get blown up just because he picks at corners. He doesn't have a real lively strikeout pitch, and his ball's a little flat. So, not it's a guy I like to at least have 1 or 2 bats against generally in each time he's out. So, anything else on that one?
Yeah, well, just one more stat along those lines is lefties are hitting 321 against him. But with his 1.65 WHIP, a lot of that does come from walks. He has 19 walks in those 40 and 2/3 innings. So, as you mentioned, nibbling on the corner, the concern is he's just going to pitch around Kang and Rojas, and maybe they'll get on a couple times with walks, but maybe he doesn't really give them a lot to hit. So that's why I'm going to shy away from them primarily. But I like them as one-offs.
Yeah, Rojas can win you a slate, but he's so darn expensive. And if they do pitch around him, that's painful when you have a couple of walks worth 4 stinking points that aren't going to do you any good. All right, let's go to game 2. We'll keep on rocking here. And our new, so all you guys know, we're trying to keep the podcasts a little bit shorter, 30, 35, somewhere in that time frame, minutes wise. As we're starting to get geared up for all the sports coming back, we want to give you, these podcasts day of so that you can make money right away on them. So we're going to try to keep them a little more concise. We're not going to cut any of our content out. We're just cut a little bit of the rambling like I'm doing right now. We'll cut some of that out. All right. So we go to the LG Twins and Chang Hyun Jung against the Hanoi Eagles and Min Jae Jang.
Well, I sure hope the Twins come through for me tonight because I like their pitcher and I like their bats.
Wow.
Chan Hyun Jung is too cheap on DraftKings. He's 6,500. This guy has 25 strikeouts in only 23 innings.
Yeah.
He's got an ERA of 3.52. Yet he's 6,500 against Hanwha, who just got finished losing 18 in a row.
Right.
So that just doesn't quite add up to me, and I'm going to take advantage of it by investing in Mr. Young.
I'm with you, man. I think it's a misprice, and it's almost basically a free square. How can you not? There are big favorites to win this game. Not big favorites, but decent enough favorites, and a guy that can strike people out. And he's $2-3 grand less than some of the other pitchers. It makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly. He had a solid outing against them earlier. 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. They're 3rd worst as a team in terms of strikeouts. So, I like the matchup. And then on the flip side, we've got the lefty bats. We like to stack these lefties against a poor righty. And Yang for Hanoi is an ERA well over 7, WHIP almost 2, poor outing against LG the first time out. So I like these lefties at the top of the order. We got, H. Kim in the 2-hole earlier this year. He had a double. Park had a hit, the cheap outfielder for 2,400, and then who's likely to be in the 3-hole with Ramos out. And then their catcher, he went 2 for 2 against this pitcher with a home run earlier in the year. So I even like him as a righty against Yang tonight. You like these LG bats?
I do. They're not my monster stack, but I guarantee you that I'll have 2 of them. I'm going to try to hand pick them out and see, because my stack's going to be expensive. I may try to go with the value guys, with you or C. Lee or just depending on who we need to grab there. But I think, I love LG tonight. I like the pitcher. If you're betting the games, I think LG is a great play tonight too at a fair favorite price. So I'm with you there. Jung, I'm not ecstatic about Jung, but I don't see how you don't play him on DraftKings at 6,500. I'm probably not going to use him on FanDuel because you don't get that price break. But I think, you get 2 pitchers on DraftKings. If you can take one that's value, that shouldn't be, really, he shouldn't be. I think he should be more of an $8,000, $8,300 pitcher. I think that it just gives you the avenue to be able to put some more hitters in there that you need to take it down. So, and I'm completely off the Hanwha side. So,
yep, no Hoying tonight. We move on.
There you go. Game 3, Lotte Giants and Kyung Yoon No against the Kiwoom Heroes and the Joker, Eric Jokic. I know you got to like the Joker.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to fire him up tonight. He is facing this decent Lotte team, but they're not very good against lefties. And he faced them earlier, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. He's getting them at home where he's 2-0 with a 0 ERA over 13 innings with 16 strikeouts. And
nice.
Jokic has a wife and a young child. And, maybe he just feels a little bit of extra strength when he's on the home field close to the family. So he's back in that environment tonight. So I like this matchup. When they faced off earlier this season, the 1 through 4 hitters for Lotte went a combined 1 for 12 against Jokic. Jay Gion had 1 hit. So really like that matchup. And on the flip side, I like the Kiwoom bats. Maybe this is your stack. Is this the stack you want to talk about?
No.
No? Okay.
Mm-mm.
Well, I like these lefties here. No has an ERA well over 5. He had a poor outing against Kiwoom earlier this year. So we've got CO at the top. He's a solid price at first or second base, under 4,000. Our boy Jung Ho Lee, 5,300. Feels like a great spot for him. And then possibly the value play with Hae-Sung Kim, the middle infielder who's still way underpriced on DraftKings. He's had some really big games at 2,600.
Yeah, they have not adjusted his price for some reason. And there's, you got to find those guys because there are definitely some mispricings in it. And they differ completely on DraftKings and FanDuel. So you really got to cherry pick those, per site. But I like the Joker. He's going to make, I'm going to hand build a couple lineups and he will be in at least one of them. He's not in my top 2 pitchers. He's sort of my 3rd guy right now, just because I respect the Lotte bats a little bit. But, I think Kiwoom certainly could be the highest scoring team tonight. It's possible. There's no doubt about it. So I think for me, because of my big stack later, I think I'll do the same and 1 off or 2 guys from Kiwoom. And even though I'm a little afraid of the Lotte Giants, I'm not going to roster anybody against the Joker because when he's on, man, he's tough. He's real cool customer out there watching him pitch too. So I'm with you. Any other standouts in that game?
No, I think that's it.
Beautiful. All right, game four, NC Dinos at the Kia Tigers. You got a premier pitching matchup with Drew Brzezinski, 4-1 with a 2.24, and the Kia Tigers with Aaron Brooks, 3-2 with a 2.78. And this is where the old coach gets to pull out a little stat for you I've been sitting on.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
bring it out.
Yes, and looking at some statistics on their day off here, sort of the regroup day of really studying things. I pulled out that I've got the top 10 pitchers in KBO with the least amount of hard hit contact. And that I love this stat. I look at this stat all the time because in baseball, as you know, you could fool a guy, make he looks like an idiot up there, totally off, and the ball dinks over the third baseman's head or something. So there's a lot to say about, really barreling up the ball and hard hit contact. And those numbers usually even themselves out. So I'm going to give you real quickly the top 10 pitchers with the best hard hit contact. And just by chance, the guy that I'm looking to roster is number one, Aaron Brooks. Only an 11.3 hard hit rate, which is extremely impressive. You do not see, generally below 15 is pretty damn good. So he's at 11.3. He's a guy, I know this is a tough matchup. I know they're a great hitting team. I really think Brooks is good. I love his stuff. And I love the fact that this is going to, even out. I think even though he's got such a low hard hit rate, teams are hitting 270 against him. And that just tells me that the trend is you're going to see that go down and be like 200. So in doing that, you're going to have some games where I think he's not going to let too many guys on base. And then I'll go right down the list just so we put these in our head. Ki Young Im from the Tigers, then Despaigne from the Wiz, Mike Wright from the Dinos, our buddy Koo from the Dinos, then Gagnon, who we play a lot for the Tigers, Jung-Hoon Park from the Wyverns, which is a little surprise to have him in there, and then three guys that we play a lot as well, Dan Straley, your man the Joker, and Warwick Soppold. So that's the top 10 that are letting the least hard hit content. So I wanted to pull that out because not just because of that stat, but I just like Brooks in this matchup. Even though the Dinos are so good and score so many runs, there are times where that bottom of the order, if Aaron Altier's not hitting with Quan and Kim and a few of those guys, you can get some easy outs towards the bottom. And I think that plays in Brooks' hands tonight. And, for that reason, I like him. I do not like any hitters on either side for this game. So you got it, buddy.
Okay, yeah, I'm not really big into the hitters in this one either. Could be a real exciting pitching duel. I'll throw in one more angle for your Brooks play. Last outing, that was the rain-shortened game against KT, and he got the 5-inning shutout. Considered a complete game shutout, but he only went 5 innings and 59 pitches, so he should be extra rested for this tough matchup. So I do see, your angle there. On the flip side, Brzezinski does make some sense as well. Terrific numbers across the board, low whip, low ERA. And last year he owned Kia, 7 innings, 1 outing, no earned runs, 6 innings, the other with 1 earned run.
Nice.
And the big boppers in the middle lineup, H. Cha went a combined 1 for 6 against him. Tucker went 0 for 6 against him. Ooh. So not planning to play those guys tonight, who we love to play, but this just isn't the right matchup for him.
That's a good call. And Brzezinski, you can't complain with him. I mean, it's weird because this rotation of pitchers has stayed pretty consistent. And we have like this group tonight where any of like 6 or 7 of these pitchers might be the top pitcher on another night when it's just all garbage pitching. So it's crazy how it works. But I mean, I think you'll have a lot of ownership spread out. There's going to be a lot of people playing the Joker, Rosinski, Brooks, Alcantara will get some play. Jung will get some play at that price. So you're not going to have dead chalk like you do on some nights when there's a standout guy. So good points there. And I think that, the under in that game is a nice play too. If you're playing, playing the games, I know they can hit, both teams can hit a little, but man, those are two pretty stout pitchers, no doubt about it. All right, let's go on to game 5 as we keep this good new pace going. Samsung Lions and Jung Hyuk Bak at 1-3 with a 7.20, and the Doosan Bears with Raul Alcantara at 6-1 with a 4.07. And so this is the last game. It's not too hard of a guess for you to pick my stack at this point.
Well, why don't you share it for us? I'm curious.
It's the Doosan Bears. Your team. Yeah, I know you own like 20% of the team, but no, I just think this sets up for Doosan's bats. I know they have lefties, but this guy can give up hits to righties or lefties, and I like the home game. I like the fact that they have a good strong lineup from 1 through 6 or 7. I mean, Jay Kim, the shortstop from Doosan, probably bats around 6th or 7th, and he's costs a fortune. I mean, they've got expensive guys because they all hit. So I'm hoping with my one-offs that I'm building in some of these other, or putting in with some of these other games, and the money I'm saving with the LG pitcher, that I'm able to get, a good 3 or preferably 4-man stack from the Doosan side. And that's sort of my go-to tonight.
Interesting. So I had a little bit of a different viewpoint on that. Beck, this lefty for Samsung, I haven't forgotten about him since his last outing. He burned us because he had such a strong outing against Keyworm, and I was predicting, I played a strong stack that night against him because he had an ERA closer to 10. But now it's almost like he's trending towards his form from last year when he was a 500. Check that, 2 years ago. He didn't pitch last year, but 2 years ago he was a 500 pitcher, ERA at 4.5. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. Maybe he's trending in the right direction. And Doosan, the lefties have a decent batting average against lefties, but not as much power. So let me give you a few numbers, and then you can do with them what you want. The leadoff hitter, the righty Park, is batting .313 against lefties with a home run. He's 5 for 16. Jay Cha, who might bat third tonight, the cheap second baseman on DraftKings, he's batting .300 with 1 homer, 6 for 20. Fernandez is the one who's doing the best. He's batting .419 against lefties.
Yeah, he's my cornerstone guy.
Yeah,
right?
I think he makes the most sense. He only has 1 home run against lefties, though, in 31 at-bats. And then Jae Hwan Kim is the one who does have power so far this year. He has 3 homers against lefties. Yeah. Of course, Jae Il-oh is out. He's on the injured list, so he's not in the middle of that lineup. And then you mentioned the shortstop, Jae-ho Kim. He's batting .300 against lefties, no homers. He's not a power guy. So, again, they've got the solid batting average, lefty-lefty, but not quite as much pop for home runs. So, that's the tricky thing, because Beck has been giving up the long ball this year. 6 home runs allowed in only 20 innings. So I can see where you're coming from there. Yep. I'm probably going to lean a little bit more towards some of these other stacks we've mentioned. But, as you mentioned, I love Doosan, so I'm not going to speak negatively about my Bears.
I can't remember a slate where I have more Doosan guys on my roster than you do. So
it's probably a first.
This is big news, breaking news. Very good. That's outstanding. I think that makes perfect sense. I just think, Doosan, I see Doosan as good as or better than the Dinos. I think they're going to, even though they're like 5 games behind them, I think they're going to make a little bit of run. Pitching wise, they're pretty deep. I love their hitting. If hopefully JLO's back pretty soon. I like the Doosan trend right now as opposed to the Dinos. I think the Dinos have a few gaps in there. They've got a lot of comeback wins. They've been clutch, but I think that's going to level out just a little bit, and I'm going to try to consider that when I'm building some lineups the next couple of weeks.
Excellent.
All right. Anything else? Anything else that jumps out or we forgot or anything like
Well,
that?
I'll just very briefly mention the other side of that last game, Samsung. I
Mm-hmm.
do have some interest in those bats. Hak-Ju Lee is picking it up. And when they faced Alcantara earlier this year, he had a double, a walk, and a sac fly. And he's trending in the right direction. So he's another one-off that I'm looking at in a number of spots.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a bad play there whatsoever. All right, man. That is it. That pretty much sums it up. We've
Hmm.
touched on the pitchers, who we like, some value plays in here, some strong plays. So that should give you a good, strong base to build some lineups. And if you want to take it to the next level, jump on DFSCoachTalk.com. You can sign up for a week, a month, or an annual membership. And once you've signed up, that membership the clock does not start on that until July 29th or 30th, when the NBA is starting. And so, take advantage of building your bankroll with us for the next 6 or so weeks with KBO and PGA. So we look forward to having you guys jump in there. Follow us on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. And then a big thing too, we really, really appreciate if the social media wise on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, if you subscribe to us, rate and review us when you can. That's really big. We want to really grow our listenership, not just on the podcast side. Everything shows up there in Spotify and all the Apple podcasts and everything, which is awesome. And we really appreciate all the listeners. But we want to also be able to bring in the video side of it on YouTube as well. So, follow us there. We'll be posting a lot of stuff on there. And when the big sports come back, you'll see a lot of extras we're going to post in YouTube only. They're going to be like the 5 best value plays in the NBA that night, stuff like that. We're going to do shorter live feeds there and such before lock. So fun stuff ahead. I want to mention real quickly, as we do at the end of every show, our charity of choice is mambaon3.org. That's MAMBAONTHREE, so 3 spelled out, .org. Fantastic charity set up by the Bryant family. So that is it, man. I think we've covered everything. We've stayed in a decent time frame in that sense. So I think we're making some progress. And a final thank you to our main 2 sponsors, MyBookie. Go to mybookie.ag and tvg.com, or you can find them pretty much on every cable system. They're on there with the ponies running. So any final words there, Mr. Hansen?
Oh, yeah. Just in terms of KBO, if you become a member, then in our Discord tonight and every night that there's KBO, we'll give you a FanDuel lineup and then a player pool on DraftKings. So jump in, become a member, and we'll be in there giving you that lineup every night and giving you the update on scratches and pivots and all that. So we'd love to have you join the family.
And, to drive that home, there's not been a single KBO slate where we haven't, even with the crazy times and rainouts and everything, where we haven't been in Discord 30 minutes before. So you should never have to take a 0 from anybody if you're, in there with us. So definitely look us up there in Discord, and we'll post those lineups a couple hours at least before you even have to worry about it, before you go to bed or whatever. And then you can, if you're really fired up, you can get up with us in the middle of the night and check any of those changes. So fantastic, very good, Andrew. As usual, terrific job, and we want to thank everybody for joining us. And we will catch you again tomorrow. We have another KBO tomorrow, and then PGA on Wednesday. So that's fun that we're getting, it feels like things are getting back to normal. It's awesome. So again, thanks for joining us, and we will look to catch you again tomorrow on DFS Coach Talk as we look to crush it in DFS.